Welcome back, everybody, to the weekend show where I'll be doing technical analysis on big mega cap stocks. So, before we get started, please hit that like button. And if you're new here, consider subscribing. Now, if you want to get my daily trade ideas, swing trade ideas, live trading, and all kinds of long term and short term setups, definitely check out my link down below in the description for Patreon. And now let's get right into it, guys. So, we do have massive earnings this week. Starting with Monday morning, you can see Domino's. Then we have more earnings: UPS, JetBlue, Visa, SoFi, Pfizer, RCL, Spotify, and that thing has been running. So, I don't know what's up with that. We got Caterpillar, another big name. Then we got Microsoft, Meta, Robinhood, QCOM. We got Eli Lilly on Thursday morning. We got CBS. We have Amazon and Apple right after closing on Thursday. And then even on Friday, we do have some earnings like ExxonMobil. That's a big company. So a lot of these big earnings are coming out this week. Now, last week we saw a massive bounce, especially from what we saw Monday. And, the market just rallied all the way to pretty much high of the week, and that's where we closed. Dow was pretty flat on Friday. We got Nasdaq going up 1.26%, S&P up 0.74%, and Russell also going flat. 11 sectors that makes up S&P 500. You can see that massive rally, and we'll start this video with Tesla very soon. You can see consumer cyclical, massive rally led by Tesla and Amazon. Technology on top, communication services, energy, and pretty much everything else except basic materials lagging behind on Friday. Week to date performance here. Also, you can see it's a risk on move. Technology leading the way on top, and then we got consumer cyclical. Stock market map for Friday, you can see, big names like Nvidia going up. There is some news about Chinese company that are actually coming out with same software or a semi chip that's going to compete with Nvidia. So we'll see how that plays out Monday morning. But you can see, we got green, especially on big names. Microsoft, we got Apple going up, Amazon up, Google up, Meta up, and Tesla up nearly 10% with really poor earnings and not even a good guidance. But I think it's all priced in, and just because Elon is coming out of that Doge thing, that's why the stock is rallying like this, and it might be going up even more. And now let's talk about Tesla. So on Tesla stock, it's up 9.80%. So it's up nearly 10%. And you can see we talked about it before that it's in a downtrend, but at some point it's going to break and people are going to chase. And guess what, guys? It's breaking out as we speak right now. We got the breakout and we just need confirmation. But one confirmation I can give you guys that it actually broke out on some really high volume Friday. So that is definitely extremely bullish. And don't forget, we talked about it also before that just because you think Tesla is going down and this is it, there is a gap at 400 401 right here. And if this thing bounces back up and breaks the trend line, boy, there is going to be a game on and bears are going to just lose more money. So Tesla definitely showing some strength. And now, if this thing can hold going into Monday's session, especially even if there is a pullback, it can hold 280. Below 280, there will be strong support at the 50-day moving average and retesting this trend line right here at 270. So keep an eye on that. That could be an opportunity to go possibly long here on Tesla if you missed out on this dip. Now, if there is actually some sort of a bigger pullback down to this gap, that's going to be even better right here at 259 to 260. So that's going to be the next level of support on Tesla. But as long as Tesla remains over 270 to 280, stay bullish for a move up to 300, and over that we might see a push up to even 330. On Amazon stock, it's up 1.31%. So Amazon also had that massive push up to 190 almost on Friday, and then we got that initial rejection there. Came back, but nothing down significantly. It's actually green for the day. So Amazon here breaks over 190. Game on for a move up to 200 to close this gap at 199.28. To the downside, critical level to watch going into Monday session: 184, 180, and then this gap down here at 176.78. And then we have earnings coming out Thursday night from Amazon. So this thing might go ballistic again going into tomorrow's session until the earnings come out, and possibly we could see this gap getting filled even before earnings. On Google, stock it's up 1.47%. So Google did not hold up all the gains. And there is a reason, because stock was trading way outside the Bollinger Band and there was just not enough push for this thing to, move up higher. And you can see, I mean, we got some high volume selling pretty much here in, the candle pretty much closing near the lows. But it's up from that gap up, and there is a gap near 162. So that's going to be a key line in the sand. As long as Google can hold right here, after the earnings, this could be a play where you can play this back up to the upside, but your key line in the sand has to hold 161.71. Output a stop at 161, maybe even 160, and play this back up to the upside. As long as you can stay over 160, this thing can move back up because of good earnings and some guidance, and I think there is some buybacks as well. So Google can actually move. But with this kind of pushback on Friday, a little concerned to see if this thing can actually hold gap fill reversal as a support 162. Underneath that level, you will see a flush down to right here 158 and then 155. There is another gap right here on Google. To the upside, there will be resistance now at 164. Over that, you're going to see a pump up to 170 and then 176. We have a gap here at 181 almost on Google. On a Microsoft, it's up 1.17%, so big rally on Microsoft as well. And you can see came back down to 50-day moving average right here, going slightly under 387, coming back up and holding over 390. So as long as it's over 387 to 390, stay bullish on Microsoft for a move up to 400 and maybe possibly up to even 413. If it gets below 390, critical level to watch right here at 387.24, and below that 380. On Apple stock, it's up 0.44%. So Apple, we got two gaps here on bottom that we just opened up recently on Apple after gapping up, and we got a gap on top from that massive gap down. So with earnings coming, which way things will go, I think we'll find out going into tomorrow's session. As long as Apple is over 207, watch out for a move up to this gap here at 220 plus. To the downside, 207 gives up, then we have a chance where Apple can come down and close this gap at 201, possibly even retest 198, and there is a gap below that which can act as a support 194. On AMD, it's up 2.30%. So is this it? AMD possibly moving higher from here. But if you look at it technically, guys, I mean, I would like to see AMD, and let me just put it there just for the sake of it right here. You can see this was the top of this 90-day pause candle. Now we need to get over that, and that is at 98. So 98 breaks, definitely there is a move up to 101 to close this gap on AMD, and possibly from there it can move even higher up to this gap close to 110. Now AMD cannot break 98, and this thing pulls back again. Critical support to hold 92.55, and below that you're going to see a dump down to 90, all the way down to 87.17 to close this gap. And then we also have critical support at 85 on AMD. So we will see how that actually works. And AMD, they do report earnings not this week, but following week on the 6th. So AMD also, I mean, this is the earnings that actually save the stock and possibly puts in a bottom going into not next week, but the following week on May 6th. On Meta, it's up 2.65%. So massive rally here on Meta. And if you look at my screen, we did close over this breakout point, 538, and got up to almost 550. So Meta, massive breakout on actually some bad news, laying off a bunch of people that are working on Meta AI. And you can see, I mean, these newses are just like, it's crazy, how they're driven. I mean, a bad news is good news. I guess, they're laying off people, so they're saving money. That's the good news. But then they're laying off for a reason, right? They don't have, those jobs, and that's why they're laying off. Cutting people is not also a good thing. Because if your company is doing well, why would you be cutting jobs, right? So, I mean, it really ridiculous how the market and the stocks, gets manipulated over in news. I mean, look at Tesla for a reason. Yes, I said that it could be priced in because of how better of earnings we got. But come on, I mean, it didn't deserve that type of move, but we got that, right? Same thing here. Just on that news, and with the bullish momentum in the market, I mean, look at that pump up to 550, and we just bought Meta last week Monday here, guys, and it was underwater. Tuesday, we sold some, and then Wednesday, and then we did not catch the entire rally to the upside, which is kind of a bummer. Especially, I kind of got out here on Meta because of earnings coming up, and I didn't want to hold. So Meta here going into Monday session, 538. That's going to be key line in the sand. Below that, we have this gap, 533. That can act as a support, and then 525. To the upside, if it breaks over 558, it can push higher. Definitely, you're going to see a push up to this 90-day pause candle, which is a 587 up to even 600. And it looks like Meta is heading that way. If the market is going, in that direction, Meta will likely to follow the market as well. On Netflix, it's up 0.42%, so kind of a flat day. It was all over the place, but this thing does not want to give up any gains, and it's on a ballistic move to the upside. So now it's holding 1100, which is going to be key point going into this week. 1100 can hold, but you can see volume is drying up as we're going higher and higher. And I mean, this move is just ridiculous how this thing is going up with earnings. So here on Netflix, if this thing pushes back and gets under 1100, there might be a chance where this thing comes back and retest 1066 to 1065, and below that might come down and retest 1055 5-day moving average, and then we also have strong support down here at 1029. Now if this thing rallies like the way it's rallying right now, the next stop definitely 1050 over 1100. At that point, it's going to be extremely overbought, and already, I mean, you can see it's trading way outside the Bollinger Band, and way past 5-day moving average, nowhere near 5-day moving average. It's like a 60 $50 gap from the 5-day moving average. So at some point it's going to reconnect here, and it's going to get that pullback. On Nvidia stock, it's up over 4% on Friday, and we did close that gap just over 111, and now it's holding that gap as a support 111. So going into Monday session, we do have some news out of China that there are more AI companies, that are going to compete with Nvidia. Not only good as Nvidia, maybe even better than Nvidia. So we'll see how that news plays out tomorrow on these semis. But as of right now, looking bullish. And if this thing gets under 111, there will be strong support at 107. And under that level, we might be pulling back to close this gap down here that is close to 100. Now, Nvidia pushes higher and stays over 111. Next stop, 115. And over that, you're going to see a pump up to 118. And soon as that breaks, you're going to see Nvidia going back into bull market once again. So far, I mean, this is a low that is holding, and I would say at least in the short term, we found a bottom on Nvidia. And that's all I have for you guys in this video, and I'll definitely keep you guys updated tomorrow night.